Speaking of people with contract issues and stuff, did you see Rod Wave?
I did not. I saw he put a single out.
Well, we like Rod Wave over here.
Love
Well,
Rod.
no, I'm not saying I like Rod Wave.
I know.
But what he said was, he's like, yo, I feel like I sold my soul for this shit. Like, this ain't me. The single that was put out, I didn't want to put that out, but they made me do it.
The one that just came out?
Yeah. It was just
It was weird that it was called like December.
But it came out in January
Yeah,
or
it's
something
a
like
little
that.
weird.
He didn't want to put that record. He had no intention of it coming out. The label said, no, we want this out. And we're not moving forward until we get this. So he's just feeling like, I have no control no more. He's talking about possibly retiring from music.
Damn.
22 years old.
He's not going to retire, I don't think. It sounds like more
Frustration.
Yeah.
frustration and trying to maybe better your situation with your label.
But what if you can't better that situation?
I need more information on this before I'm able to comment, to be honest.
Okay.
I would like to know what his understanding of his situation was. Rod Wave is a big artist,
He's a huge artist.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you a big artist, the label is paying a little more attention to you and your records. They might want a little more input in how those album cuts and how these songs are filtered to the public. We got a lot riding on you, a lot invested in you, and I know what you wanted your song to be, but let us please just pump a little bit in this song first. It could be that.
Got you.
His response don't sound like it's that,
So
so I don't know.
here's his quote. I was in a $15 million deal contract I was trying to close on, and they was like, they need that song. That's the only reason why I dropped that shit. But I was never going to drop that shit if you want to be technical. He's talking about the Cold December record.
Okay.
I'm only here for a little longer, and when I say that, I mean as in Rod Wave. I'm only here for a little minute, man. I'm done. I done gave y'all straight dope, straight crack.
No, I done. Not
I done.
Yeah, because that's
I
important.
done gave y'all straight dope, straight crack. Ain't nobody fucking with me with that pen. This shit is not really me, man. I'm not no people person. I'm not no center of attention ass nigga. I hate attention, man. I can't get on the internet without seeing my face or name. It's kind of like you sold your soul, bro. Because if you say that's not you, but for $300K, it'll be me. It just seems like he's not enjoying this shit, man.
Wow. That was poignant.
Yeah.
That was well said. Well thought out. It's
Rod
20
Wave's a monster. He's I feel like I've seen him on Forbes lists and shit. Like he does.
Streams really well.
Yeah, he puts up numbers. He puts numbers on the board. And he makes great music.
Well, does that supply or substitute happiness? I think a lot of these people that put numbers up on the board aren't feeling the greatest.
No question.
Nope.
No question. We were
And
kind of
because-
joking off mic about having fun being broke versus is it fun having money?
Oh yeah, to bring it full circle.
Yeah.
Yet again. At 22 years old, his interpretation of the music industry is probably different from what he's experiencing now. And he's a primary act, which means he's being exposed to quite a bit and they're leaning on him a lot. The weight could get heavy. We just saw Young Blue go through it. He dropped, then put on a bad show, then said I'm depressed, then put out a project that said I'm depressed.
Yeah, no, I'm not okay.
We saw somebody else come out publicly recently and speak to just not being okay. Mental health has been a thing with artists for the past few years. Big Sean, we can go on and on.
Yeah.
But for a newer act, Rod Wave hasn't been around but for so long. For a newer act to pick all this up and feel this way so early, I wonder if he means when he says I'm only here for a little minute as Rod Wave, that he's already trying to figure out a way to get from underneath that.
That's what it
Because that
sounds
was
like.
the first thought that I had too when there were some contract issues and my name was Joe Budden as a rapper. I was like, all right, well, I'm pulling a Prince and I ain't Joe Budden no more. And we just gonna rap under something else and start a new group, a new entity, a new something. Wonder if it's some of that here. I don't think a 22-year-old is gonna stop making music. I don't think that.
I don't either.
If you see what come with it, like he might have never intended on any of this. I'm making music from the heart.
No, put that back, man. Put that back.
You know what I'm saying?
And he does make music from the heart, by the way. Like he's.
I didn't sign up for all of that. I just wanted to get my shit off.
Where's he from?
I feel like Texas. I could be wrong about that though.
The hood.
Wherever he's from, this story is national. Like I know somebody from everywhere that feel like this. Mm-hmm. What jumps off the screen to me is this shit not really me, man. I'm not no people person.
He's from Florida.
I'm not no center of attention ass nigga. I hate attention. Nobody relates to that more than I. Unfortunately, we sign up to do a gig where attention comes with it, and we didn't know.
Fam, we
didn't know how much. We didn't know how we would react.
Me and Ish talk about this. I'm not an attention nigga. I hate it, and it comes with this. It's an adaptation. Some people are like, yo, I can't deal with that. I'm not used to attention. I don't fuck with attention.
See, and I don't think it's fair, right? Because the people that are a little socially awkward or don't necessarily deal with this the greatest, we go out here because it's our job. Like he said, for $300K, I'll go out there. And now you get me as I am. And you might not have the best reception of me because of how we're introduced here. You're being introduced to me in my worst environment, in a condition I'm not used to. Mm-hmm. And now you just run around calling me an asshole and a piece of shit, but it's not that. I was doing a job, and that's who I really am, and I want to protect the world from that, so I really want to be in the house. It's fucked up. I feel him. And a lot of new acts are introverted this way.
Mm-hmm. And not just for that, people are fucking weird, yo. Sometimes you just don't want to deal with that. And you don't realize that. Like, yo, everybody that you come across ain't a fan. It's just some weird people out there. And it's like, yo, I'd rather just be in the house or let me just throw a mask on. Let me go about my business and mind mine.
Listen, man, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the greater your gift is, the greater slave you'll become to it. It sucks, yo. It sucks. But like, why do we all do music? Everybody's reason is different. But if you're successful enough, you'll garner enough attention, fame, and notoriety. And I always harken back to my talk I had with him in private one day when he was like, I would just love to go to Walmart without a crowd with my daughter. Mm-hmm. I'd love to go pump gas at a gas station. I'd love to go anywhere alone. I'd love for it to not cost X amount of dollars to travel somewhere. Mm-hmm. But that's not life. I'd love for the people that are attached to me to have a normal time in life. But it's not normal. And that takes a lot of adjusting.
And then there's also the pressure, which we could tie this into the Kevin Gates interview that he did recently.
Yes.
With how
great job.
You become the man, like you have a bunch of people relying on you, whether it's your family or whatever, because now you're up and you're taking care of them, or they can at least rely on you, or, the labels and the people you're doing business with. It's a lot. That's a lot.
Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Just throwing it out there. Mm-hmm. You think they would reverse it if they could?
I think some people might.
Some people would. I think more people than we think.
Yeah, I think some people say this shit's not worth everything that comes along with it ain't worth it.
In 2003, I was on one of them DVDs. That's when the DVD era was out. And I was like, yo, the second that I'm off this shit, I promise you I'll go get a regular job. I'm not married to none of this shit. And all the fans, oh, what a liar. He's full of shit. How could you give it up? Well, if you know what comes with it, then you know how someone could give it up. I never judged Calvin Johnson. Very abrupt retirement.
Or it's a difference, though.
Barry Sanders, too, yeah.
No, it's no difference to me.
It's different.
What's the difference?
The money that they've earned.
It's no different. You make good money as a rapper too. If you're successful in it, the money is not going to. If you're not doing this, willing to become someone else for the $300,000, then the money don't matter. Calvin Johnson was in his prime, had a quarterback that can get it to him. Granted, he was stuck in Detroit, but he was the best and had another max contract easy on the way, and said, "Nah, I'm done."
So this goes to my point.
And niggas couldn't understand that, but I don't want to get bust up in the head. Every day when I go to work to practice, I'm off it. I'm not really feeling the coach. My wife is at home telling me what normal people should say. Like, yo, baby, you don't want to be there for our kid as he grows up? You want to be off? I don't want to have to take care of you. I don't want you as a vet. Like, you know the fucking talk. I ain't got to go into that.
I agree, but I'm saying this.
But it's the same for me. For me, maybe. And I've been exposed to some shit that a lot of fans have not. So I get people not understanding me. But it's a very...
And also, I mean, some rappers make football player money. Rod Wave, maybe one of them. He was on a Forbes or
He's well on
Forbes
his
or
way.
Billboard where he made
And
He's about
$10 million
He's 2 years away from making more than some of them.
But that's my point.
Uh-huh.
What's the song Jay-Z be like? Who you think I'm kidding? No, I'm getting high, sitting low. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever the song is.
Uh-huh.
And he talks about it like, yo, I'm saying all this shit, but it ain't that. Like, once you make a certain amount of money, I think your thought process changes. I remember there were days when, fuck it, nigga, we put our lives, our lives, our future, our freedom on the line to make a certain dollar amount of money that a nigga couldn't get me to damn near leave the house for today. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think once you get to a certain position of success, now it's easy to say that. Whereas if a nigga tomorrow reverse the situation and give him now, because now your mom's is okay. Now your little sister is okay. Now you got enough money to send your little siblings to college, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas some motherfuckers don't have that. So now you can say that today. I don't know if these people have the same exact mindset in reverse.
But I think some people, if going back to our conversation off mic, I said you can say I had more fun broke than rich or whatever because you've experienced both. So to your example, Ish, I think for him, not just him, anybody that have experienced the success and seen what came with it might look at it and say, you know what?
It wasn't worth it.
This wasn't worth it. I'd rather go try to get it another way than have to deal with the public. Some people, the money the money's just not worth it for all the extra shit that come with it. Like Joe's example, the conversation, dude, I can't go to the supermarket. I literally cannot do anything by myself.
And so
And my other thing with that is, right, real quick is, you know how the phone tracks your steps, right? I got this weird thing I do. I track, we all track all the steps of our lives. And only we know those steps. I was talking to Corey one day, was walking outside, nice day on the promenade. And I said, look, for all the money, all the fame, all the success, I ain't but probably less than 3 miles from where I was born in the project. Right? Like, for where I am now, shit, I'm from Jersey City. I ain't but a couple of seconds from over there. So, I mean, yeah. What?
keep going. I want you to land.
Well, that's the land. The money is nice. And the quality of life is nice. But what is it affording you and what is it costing you?
So,
and those questions vary for people.
I know. So in some instances, I think, and again, I can't speak to him. I can't speak to you. I think oftentimes, though, we kind of dismiss our blessings, right? And I think oftentimes we aren't as gracious or grateful for the gifts that God has bestowed upon us. I think that once you get there, yeah, you can talk that shit, right? But when your baby mom is starving or your mother's starving or your auntie is starving or somebody's in the hospital and the hospital kind of treating them like bullshit because they don't have the right insurance, right? The hospital might be taking them on a slight and you could have potentially had them in a better situation. I think we just don't, we kind of be, and it's not toward him or you. I think a lot of times when people reach a level of success, they kind of forget what the fuck it was like on the other side. So yeah, you only live a couple miles from Jersey City, but it's night and fucking day. You only live a couple miles from the projects in Queens, but it's night and fucking day. And those people in those projects today, walking through them pissy stairwells, would trade places with you in a second.
This is back And this is back to our original talk that we had whenever we had it. It is night and day. I feel by design.
Oh, I'm not even talking about how we got there. I'm just saying we stand on this particular point.
But for me, that is important. When I stand on the balcony and see that I'm a few steps from where I was born, but look at all the steps I had to take to get there. And then the frustration and damn, you had to go through all of that to make it across the water.
To go 4 miles away.
Yeah, that ties in for me. Back to what can you afford? What will it cost you? It sounds like the cost for him
is high.
Is not worth the price of admission.
Exactly.
When I first got in the game, it wasn't worth the price of admission. That don't change what you saying to be true. Because a lot of my stress is alleviated in the fact that when people call with these transactional issues, those are off the table. But a lot of my stress comes from those being off the table.
Elaborate. Because I ain't really under the analogy.
I'm trying to figure out how I can do it on a public platform.
Gotcha. I'm gonna just say this. Homeboy's 22, right? So I'm not definitely can't take because his walk is his walk. What I can say is everybody got stresses, right? Bill Gates got stresses, Warren Buffett got stresses. Everybody got stresses. So money don't alleviate your stresses. I think it alleviates the type of stress. So
Yeah, more money, more. Yeah.
being where we from, nigga, you ain't gotta coming out your house. It's no possible way. It's a possibility. The probability is not high that a stray bullet is gonna hit somebody in your family when they jogging. Like it's certain risks and rewards that come along with everything you do. You could walk outside and get hit by fucking lightning any day of the week. But the probability is not as high. Yo, going through what we've gone through to get a couple dollars, Samuel L. Jackson said, yo, the only people that can really tell you that money ain't everything is a motherfucker that never had it or a motherfucker that always had it. Because they don't know the other side. When you've seen both sides, those are the only people that can really make a definitive statement. You've seen both sides. Homeboy has seen both sides. I just think that sometimes when you get a certain level of money, you forget where you really came from oftentimes. And you forget how bad motherfuckers got it over there. Some motherfuckers can't feed their kids, dog. Like, yo, I don't know. I just look at it like we kind of bitching. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like some people just really forgot how bad it be on the other side. And some motherfuckers didn't come from that. So I don't know where people came from. I've seen the differences and the drastic differences in life and life. And some motherfuckers will trade places with y'all niggas in a heartbeat tomorrow.
And the same,
But that don't say-
hold
Go
on.
ahead.
But the same person might tell that person who said they'll trade places with you. You don't know what come with all of this, and you get over here and might say, "Damn, I don't want all of that either."
I ain't ducking no bullets, Ice.
We don't know if I'm talking about in his.
I don't know this kid. I'm not even. We taking it off of this kid because I don't know him.
You're going extremes. You're going extremes.
I don't know his walk
There's
of
also
life.
plenty of people that get a lot of money and fame or whatever and become a bigger target. Not for nothing. Yeah, they might.
I hear what Ish is saying. Happiness just isn't one size fits all.
No doubt.
Like everybody is gonna have their different
Have all the money in the world to be
picture.
depressed, like
They're
hating, like
different.
miserable with your
They're-
life.
Poverty
Listen,
ain't happy.
Listen, Floyd wealthy than a bitch. Them I can't read jokes probably got them. Like,
Of course.
We just don't like happiness looks different on everybody and how we get it is different. So I mean, this don't sound happy.
No.
No, he doesn't sound like a happy young man.
And I think that when you're in a situation like a lot of the artists that we see having these kind of conversations where you're not really in control of what's happening with your life, essentially, and your soul, because it's your music, your art that you put all this, because he don't make poppy shit. He makes from the soul
Yeah,
music.
it's right from here. Everything.
So when you lose control of that, I can see how you end up feeling.
If
this
you
way.
ain't emotional,
Oh no, it gets heavy.
Yeah.
First of all, you attract what you put out. That's a law in music. Whatever the song is, you're going to get back what you're supposed to get back from it. So if it's not proper representation of you and how you feel, the label is going to monetize and you're going to be exposed and out here just meeting shit that ain't bringing back what it's supposed to spiritually. Because
You went
that
through that,
wasn't
I'm sure.
you. Huh?
I'm sure you went through that.
Oh, you fucking right.
sure
I'll
you
never forget the night at Cindy's. 2004, 5, one of those years. I creep do my little, I've been the same nigga for a long time. Wow. I do my little creep to Cinderella's by myself. Shout out to Elizabeth. Cinderella's. I sit there, and as a sign of respect, the DJ start playing joints. But Pump It Up has been passed, and I'm in a little in-between. I'm throwing mixtape shit out there to get what's popping. Def Jam ain't feeling me. I'm trying to get off of there. I'm in there just to see some ass and be sad. And the DJ starts trying to respect me and he plays a song called Roll Your Backyard that was just on a Clue tape. Kwame did the beat, hardest beat in the world. It was fucking Nitty and Webb trying to get me to get a single out there, and the record played in the strip club. And there's girls in there, and it's a Friday. And niggas was down there, it's jumping, no, we in here, and I'm listening. That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'd have never said that phrase. I'd have never wrote that record. The beat was hard. I wouldn't have did that to it. But it's playing now as representation of me while I'm out here. And I can't even get mad at him because he's respecting me.
Right.
And that was the moment I said, never again. This will never happen again where I am the deliverer of the bad feeling to me. You can't play this shit if I don't make it. You could tell me a million different reasons that this should be pushed. If I don't make it and it don't feel good to me, it ain't coming out. And that's what separates some niggas from some niggas, and that gets to his last point. For 300,000, it might be you, but it won't be him. Everybody prices, the price of admission is different for everybody. 300K didn't do it for me. I had way more fun when I left and went to go sit at a fucking radio station and just sit there and talk for $250 a year. That was fun. I was having a blast. I said, yo, when I finish this rap shit, I'm on their ass. I'm over here. Back then, I thought the picture was BLS or Hot 97 or something like that, and then no pocket, whatever, right? But it was fun. And the second they made me stop or urged me to stop, I was right back miserable. Right back miserable. So I totally understand where he's coming from. And I hope he's young enough to like figure this out and get around this. He's powerful enough to have some leverage in these conversations.
He is.
He might not.
But
even
I wish
know it.
when
That's
artists,
the bad part.
yeah,
I just think
That's the bad part.
I think
They
the
don't even know that.
diversification comes now because I think with these younger artists, contrary to you, it's way more money for them. So now they can take that money and generate other money and do other shit, whereas you guys didn't necessarily have that same amount of financial opportunity. He said he was in a $15 million deal. You know what I'm saying? Like
my era was the last era of us getting paid though.
last or first?
The last.
What you mean?
Last between the gap.
After him came digital where no one got paid for a million years. But now people are getting paid again.
People are getting paid now. Like that's a fact.
There was 10, 15
but
years
when you
where
use
there was no money.
My generation as an example, it's a bad example. Like you got to use the one right after that. I was the tail end of that. Like the Busta video advances, the record deals, the marketing budgets, it was all inflated. I was in there, and then Napster came, and then it got bad. That's when we said, oh shit, the record business is declining year by year. Last year we sold CDs, ain't no CDs, record stores are disappearing, the studios are disappearing. How's this shit gonna stay afloat? And then it was no money for nobody. For nobody. So then some things had to happen. Ringtones. We had to start getting it. They started coming up with some shit, and that led us to ta-da. And now we got all of these
iTunes
artists.
happened, and then streaming happened as a result.
No, but before that, we was fighting to get in the Nextel Where You At commercials. It was a whole, we just had to make a way.
We had to find out to go get it somewhere else.
We had to make a way for a little bit because they kept saying, oh, this shit is about to be over. It's no money. The big execs was getting fired, losing their jobs.
Labels started merging together. It was like, all right, look, y'all ain't making no money. We ain't
So
either.
today, you got all of these artists that are going back to their old contracts to see, hey, what's the language with streaming? If there is none, we have to have a conversation. I have to go save my money and get some money and lawyer up because, fam, fuck is you on? I just seen a few artists come forward and say that they fighting it. They fighting to get their streaming rights and blah, blah, blah because their contract don't state it. Mine didn't state it either. But guess what? The label is protected because once you sign an ownership over. So whatever it becomes,
They still
to the people that are confused as to why Joe is on ownership and it's going to take a pretty penny to get me off of it, I know what it does. The world going to change and you're going to be without you. And then somebody else is speaking for you, trying to sell you. Monetizing you. In 20 billion different ways.
Attaching your shit
because you signed your name somewhere and they own it. So whatever it becomes, it's ours. And don't talk to me again.
It's funny. People were asking me today which we all know the answer to on Twitter, about why Slippin' is edited on
Explicit, yeah.
on
Fresh,
all
fresh in my flesh, blood
everywhere.
of my blood,
It's
all
only
streaming.
edited, and it's because Grover Washington didn't want curses in his song. And then people were kind of replying, "Oh, that's fucked up. They should have the curses." And I'm like, I think that's kind of dope. That's like a positive of copyright law. Because
There's a couple
you
records
can't
that
just do
happened
whatever
back
you
then.
want with my shit. No.
Streets is watching.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
It was a nice little stretch where you can sample,
Yeah.
but you can't curse in
You
it.
can't do nothing with my shit. I love that.
And then they still put the explicit out. One way or
Yeah,
another.
they be a kid, whatever. Yeah.
Smart. I mean, that's dope.
It's
Ownership
mine.
ownership is dope.
Ownership is key.
And unfortunately, this might be, and I don't have any information, this might be a very young contract.
Rod's.
Huh?
Rod
yeah.
Waves. I'm sure. He's young. He's only 22, so
He's 22 years old.
And that's couldn't be a worse situation.
That's the bad thing because
Couldn't
now
be a
you're
worse
stuck in a
situation.
situation that you might have to do the same
He
shit.
has to do whatever he has to do now to get out of that contract. Whether it be they let him out, whether it be they work out a point something for when he leaves.
Well, that's kind of
or the problem is this is back to you being a slave to your ability. You too hot.
I'm not letting you go nowhere. But
I'm not, nigga. What?
but when you got leverage like that, potentially, like
I have you.
Christina Aguilera said that her first album, she hated that shit. Like all that bubblegum pop shit, she was like, yo, that's not who I am at all. Like what a girl wants, all that shit. She said she hated it. But with her successes, gave her a little bit more freedom. Like the label will give you a little bit of leash to make some shit that you like. You know what I'm saying? Like because you already hot as
Sometimes.
fish grease,
Yeah,
it'll
but-
give you an opportunity to make some soulful
I've
shit.
seen-
It don't happen to everybody.
But no, but
I've seen
also
it go
what
a few
happens though,
ways.
like when you saying you hot and leverage, etc. Like I've seen this happen with two rappers at a major. Last album, I want to get. I'm hot. I done built my fan base up. Now I'm ready. Once I'm out of here, I could go make a move over here. It's up.
Let's
label-
explain
the
this
label
to the
know
listener.
that.
Stop. Let's explain this to the listener because this is interesting and a lot of audience might not pay this any mind because who the fuck thinks about this?
All right, so I signed a record deal for 4 albums. After album number 3, I'm hot as fish grease. Now I know I don't own these albums. I know this is the label's project, but
Shitty
I'm
deal.
hot. So in my head, I'm like, cool. Let me get this album out because I signed for 4 albums. So when I drop 4, I'm independent now. I can go independently.
It's your last album.
I can do whatever I want.
You know it's your last album.
label
your
knows it's my
label
last
knows
album.
it's your last album. Part of why you hot as fish grease is because of your talent and because of all the work that the label did
Correct.
and the funds that they allocated to your
Correct.
project.
So
We don't know if you are going to be here past this next project, and we know the bigger we make this last project, the better you are when you leave. It behooves us to just let this go. We not doing nothing with this.
or
We not spending
we'll talk to you and say, yo, check this out.
or resign.
Yeah, we're gonna re-sign over
Extension time.
here. Yeah, now I want 2 more. I'll put this out,
Yeah.
but now I need 2 more afterwards. And then after that, you good. And you know what happens after you put 1 more out? Same boat. And you stuck.
Well, unless it ain't. Rihanna got to the end of that contract, and it was stick-up time. All around the board. And her contract, I think, was a little longer. It took a while. It was a few more than 4 albums. But when it came, I'm the biggest star in the world, dog.
But she had also made the label enough money to where they had to recognize.
And was
like,
going to continue to make people
yeah,
money.
like you get what I'm saying.
And
Like,
was going to continue to make people
so I
money.
think it could have potentially been a win-win for everybody because good business is a possibility to
Well,
where everybody is happy. It don't got to be robbery time
listen,
in all instances.
And that's another thing that's not taught enough. A 360 is not, everybody don't think that's the worst thing in the world. When we hear about it being the worst thing in the world, it's from people that it wasn't built for.
yeah.
Or it's for people that had no idea what the 360 really was.
Or you just it
Like
wasn't,
you
it
didn't
wasn't for
realize
you.
that, oh shit.
You niggas could have known what it was. They could have sold y'all some dreams. You could have had more you could have had more confidence in yourself. All of that's cool. You don't hear a peep about it from the people that it's working for.
No.
They love it. They encourage it. Hey, bring in more.
Yeah.
Bring it. Hey, you doing that? Bring it. Hey, bring it all
Because
in.
theoretically, the label should work harder for you if they're getting a piece of everything.
There you go.
And that is why y'all think I'm a bad guy when I say certain people are going to be real slow delivering music, but I'm saying it from experience. There are deals in place where not just the artist, the label, the production company, the manager, all parties involved are making way more money doing other ventures
Then music.
We don't give a fuck about music.
They're all happy about it.
Right.
Right.
No one's angry
Except the fan.
except the fan. He working off God-given organic talent, and he's getting the SoundCloud days are over, but the SoundCloud Fetty Wap Trap Queen, I put some shit out, it took off now. Everything I put out take off. And I'm a star, but that happened in a matter of a New York minute.
Mm-hmm.
You are not, by design, you're not supposed to get that big that fast on your own. We supposed to be able to jump in and fix that or grab onto it
Yeah,
somehow.
attach on
And they did that to him. We hear the same thing from NBA Youngboy. We hear this from the niggas that are streaming giants. Interesting that in the fucking peak era of streaming, the highest streamers are upset. I don't know enough about it. Well, yes, I do, because I'm one of the highest streamers. Well, that's why I was upset. So I totally understand it, man. Not quite sure what's going to happen from it or what to do about it,
Right.
but I definitely understand it. Rod Wave, we love you, man.
No doubt.
We love you up here. We hope you are well. We hope you all right. And we hope that this don't weigh too much on your ability, because that's the other part too now. Now he's stuck with the responsibility of tackling all this shit off the field and playing the same on the field.
New Joe Budden.